And good Monday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. The 20th of March is what it is. Spring break last week, and, well, we're sitting at 27 degrees now in Meridian, 25 at NAS Meridian. It is cold and could be colder where you are. We'll look at some temperatures across the state here in just a moment to see how bad it is. And it's not over. It's coming back again tonight. Another freeze warning in effect that will go into effect around 1 a.m. tonight and last until 9 a.m. in the morning. Today, it will last until 10 a.m. It's there's no other way to word it. It's just downright cold this morning. Bundle up before you head out. Make sure to warm those cars up for a few minutes to make sure it's nice and crispy when you get in it. You'll regret it if you don't. Again, I'm your friend Scotty Ray. There's lots to talk about this morning as we get into the morning show. Make sure you're here for that. The Alley Cat Run is coming up this weekend. We'll have a special guest in this morning to talk about that beginning at 7 as well. A few things that are up and stirring today. So how do you feel? I don't think 2 cups of coffee is enough. I'm going back for a third before we start this next show. So keep with us. All right, let's check in Collinsville this morning for a good word. As always, it's great to get a great way to start the day.
I don't do a lot of baking. I would much rather grill or cook some kind of main course dish. However, in an effort to carry on a family tradition, I will occasionally get adventurous and bake a German chocolate cake. My mom used to bake these at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they were so good. In my first efforts to bake one of these cakes, I would substitute something for an ingredient that I didn't have or leave it out altogether. I realized really quick that it just wouldn't be the same. The cake that was supposed to be delicious was just incomplete without the right or all the ingredients. In Matthew 22:34 through 40, the Pharisees got together and tried to test Jesus about the commandments. They asked him, "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment." Jesus wasn't trying to point out the differences in the heart, mind, and soul. He was talking about loving God with all that we are. We are to love Him completely with every ability He has given us. Loving God is supposed to be the greatest thing we could ever do. Our love for Him is complete without the right or all the ingredients. May we learn to love Him completely. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. As always, a great message there from Brother Paul as well. Don't forget they'll have services beginning on Wednesday night and again on Sunday. They'd love to have you. Well, as we start today, you think, well, what is the most expensive place to live in the United States? I, for one, would have guessed out loud California coming in at 1, but it's not. New York comes in at number 1 in nearly the entire top 10. Matter of fact, California didn't even make the top 10. All of the states that are in the northeast corner of the United States, Connecticut, Maine, and those areas up in that direction, ranked in the top 10 of the most expensive places to live. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, but I thought you might want to know that. The South is a great place to retire, isn't it? Tomorrow, we'll see what happens with this. It's getting sticky across the United States as New York most likely will arrest Donald Trump. It's going to get serious after that, and most say should they do this, it will propel him into, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically a martyr. Makes him an unbeatable candidate should they do this. All over the Stormy Daniels things, the New York Attorney General, all on this. They won't give it up. Never before has that happened. We'll see what becomes of it, but it's a good possibility that this will go down tomorrow. We'll see what becomes of it. Sticky, isn't it? Let's see here. As we look around other things that are happening today, Def Leppard, do y'all remember that group? The drummer was attacked in Florida by a 19-year-old, beaten pretty bad. Bad when old rock and roll bands are starting to be jumped on, isn't it? That's the way it is. All right, before we get into the weather, let's just take a quick glance across the area here. I want you to see this, just how cold this is this morning as we look As we pull up radar here, we're showing 27 here at Key Field. As we go up to NAS Meridian, it's 25. We'll get 28 there at Columbus Air Force Base. And even in Tupelo, holding steady, not much colder than Meridian, 25. As we go out to the west, Jackson, 26, Vicksburg, 28. All that not too bad. Collierville, Tennessee, just across the line right there, showing some of the coldest weather that we've got. 18 degrees showing there in Collierville. If y'all remember the name Liesl Harris, that was always the clown at the Ralph Morgan Rodeo, that was his hometown. Cold as blazes there this morning. Makes you want to back up to a heater, doesn't it? Good morning. We're going to check your forecast, get in all the details. We do have severe weather lined up this week. We want you to make plans and be prepared for this and not be shocked by it as it arrives. We'll check all of that next here in just a moment. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
And welcome back. As we said, it's cold, and I can't stress that enough. Wear extra layers this morning. And me and my wife was discussing this last week, and why she didn't do this for Christmas for me, I don't know. But the jackets that have the battery-powered heat elements in it, my new form of life to where I'm cold all the time would have been the perfect gift. Hint, hint, another birthday hopefully will come up. Let's get into the forecast this morning, brought to you by our friends at EMEPA.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
And welcome back. Let's get into what happened, and I didn't have it in order. I was close, but close doesn't always get it, does it? No, it doesn't. Let's go to our record highs and our record lows as we go back to 1907. It was 89 degrees on this date. That makes it hot. Our coldest that we've ever had on this date, and we're really close to it today, 1923, the record low was set at 25 degrees. Now, again, Key Field at 27 right now. As we look north of here, it ties that at NAS Meridian. As we look across today, 56 is what we're going to get. As we go northward to the Philadelphia area, about 55 on up through Stark, Vegas, even through Louisville and up to Columbus, 54 at the Air Force Base. Natchez, a little warmer, 58 is what we'll see. And Hattiesburg on toward the coast, 58, 59 in those areas. As we glance across to Bama land, we'll see 57 in Tuscaloosa, 56 in Birmingham, and even Demopolis, 56, and should be around 55 right there in Livingston, Alabama. Good morning, Mike Dallas. Glad to see you there. A lot of folks saying it's cold. 23, Terry says, in Philadelphia. Now, today, wildfire conditions. What does that mean for you? It means do not burn. Could be bad. Don't do that. There's no burn bans in effect, but it doesn't change the fact it's going to be windy, and we don't need any brush fires getting out and making folks chase them all day. So keep that in mind. As we look to the freezing temps tonight, going in tomorrow, it's not over as this cold weather. We're at an elevated threat for tonight around 30. Now, last night was even higher than that as we got these temperatures below freezing, but we're right at that 33, which is, before I get corrected, below freezing, but not as cold as it is today. It puts it at a level 2 for tonight. That will go into effect at 1 a.m. tonight and last through 9 in the morning. Something to be aware of. As we look across the Bama state line, freeze, frost warning through Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. They're carrying this on the way to tomorrow. As we glance at what is happening, as I mentioned, bad weather this week. National Weather Service already putting this out. They're not giving a timeline on this yet due to the fact that it's so many days away. But, again, we're at a level 2 for coming up on Friday. Severe storms possible. Will that change? It could. They could include other storms as well. We're going to be watching this closely. Check back often this week as this nears us. As we look at the 6-to-day, 10-day outlook, Warmer weather in store for us. Then we got another cold front out here in California, but this happens to be coming. We'll be glad for that, I hope. Everybody should be. As we look at our 7-day outlook, brought to you by our friends over at Wilson Outdoor and Power, here we go. Today, 55, that high down to 30. But look at tomorrow. Finally getting back to 65 degrees. Low of 45 tomorrow night. As we get to Wednesday, well, we're home free again. 77 by Thursday, 83 over the weekend, 78 and 81. It'll be perfect weather for short sleeve if you like that. All coming up. Isn't that better? I think so. As we look, and again, let's back up there. As we look right there, that's what we're concerned about, that severe weather on Friday. 50% chance there. As we go all the way till April the 3rd, we show that we stay in the 70s and nearly 80 every day. Slight chances of rain in the forecast occasionally there, especially on the 30th. But we'll be getting out of this cold slump that we're in right now. What's the best time to go fishing today? If you can stand it out there, I don't think I could. Your first major time was overnight, and your next time is going to be right at lunch. Let's call it 12:30, and it should last till close to 2:30 this afternoon. Again, that wind's going to be calm northeast around 5 in the afternoon, kind of getting down a little bit. But most of all, be careful as you're out and about this morning, doing what you do. We are about 18 minutes away from kicking off the morning show. Nina mentioning the Loose Caboose is coming next weekend. April 1st, that'll be when that is. Hope y'all can make it over for that. That'll be a big thing also. Warm weather, in fact, ready for that. I'm ready for that. This was not the weekend for, I guess it was more of a marshmallow weekend around the fire. Whew, I'm not equipped for all of this. We've got all that coming. We'll be telling you about the events and things that are happening in our area. So y'all join us. Again, we've got a special guest moving in this morning with us to tell us about the Alley Cat Run. It's going to be happening at 7 this morning, moments away. Put a smile on. We can do this together. We'll be back in just a few moments.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.